Are you starting your morning with 2 egg whites and a dry piece of toast? You probably think that's a healthy breakfast, right? I've heard that line hundreds of times. I skip the yolk to avoid cholesterol. I eat whites because they're lighter on my stomach. I don't dare eat the whole egg. I'm worried about my blood fat. And every time I take a deep breath and say just one thing, you're unknowingly harming your brain, your nerves, even your legs, right from the first bite of your day. I'm Dr. Richards. I'm 60 years old, and for over 3 decades I've cared for more than 25,000 patients over 50. And I've learned something powerful. The most dangerous habits are often the ones we think are harmless. And eating only egg whites, especially first thing in the morning, is one of them. I still remember it like it was yesterday. A few years ago, Eleanor, 67 years old, came to my clinic looking worried. She said, "Doctor, my hands feel numb every morning and my legs feel like they're not even there. I'm scared it's Parkinson's." I ran reflex tests, blood work, neurological screens. And then I asked something most doctors don't. "What do you usually eat for breakfast?" Without hesitation, she said, 2 boiled egg whites. "I cut out the yolks years ago. I've been avoiding cholesterol." I nodded, because I knew exactly what was going on. You see, egg whites contain a compound called avidin. When eaten alone, especially on an empty stomach, avidin binds tightly to biotin, vitamin B7, and blocks your body from absorbing it. And biotin. It's not just some beauty vitamin for your hair like the commercials say. It's essential for nerve function. A lack of it can cause constant fatigue, numbness or tingling in hands and feet, memory loss, mood changes, even depression, poor muscle control. And after 60, your stomach acid naturally declines, which means your ability to absorb nutrients gets weaker. So if you're loading your body with avidin every morning without the yolk to balance it, you're silently stripping your nerves of what they need to stay alive. And here's the twist, that yolk you've been throwing away. That's exactly where the biotin is, along with lecithin, omega-3s, lutein, and zeaxanthin, all crucial for brain health, vision, and a strong heart. So I gave Eleanor a small change. From tomorrow on, eat the whole egg. Not on an empty stomach, pair it with some veggies or whole grain toast. 6 weeks later, she came back, face brighter, voice stronger. She smiled and said, "Doctor, I can hold my husband's hand again without going numb." That moment, it moved me. But it also made me think about the millions of seniors still tossing out the yolk every day thinking they're doing something good. So here's what I want you to remember. Eat the whole egg, the white and the yolk together. Let the yolk neutralize avidin. Don't eat eggs on an empty stomach. Pair them with carbs or veggies. 5 to 7 eggs a week is generally safe for most seniors. Taking cholesterol meds. Talk to your doctor. Eggs aren't the enemy if you eat them wisely. Have you ever avoided the yolk thinking it was bad? Have you ever felt tired, numb, or foggy, and never thought your breakfast might be the reason? Tomorrow morning, try something different. A whole boiled egg, white and yolk with some greens oatmeal or whole grain toast. No pills, no expensive supplements. Just a small shift that can support your legs, your mind, and your clarity. Because after 60, health doesn't come from big, complicated things. It comes from doing the small things the right way every day. And sometimes that's as simple as eating the whole egg. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you've ever skipped the yolk, be honest. We're not here to judge. We're here to learn from each other. Did you know? A study published in the Journal of Food Science in 2017 found that cooking cold eggs directly, especially by frying or boiling them at high heat, can denature more than 40% of the proteins, reduce nutrient absorption, and cause digestive discomfort in older adults. When I first read that study, one patient instantly came to mind. Mr. Walter, 71 years old, from Ohio. A man of strong discipline. Every morning at exactly 6:30, he ate 1 hard-boiled egg. But he had what he called a superfast method. Take the eggs straight from the fridge, Drop it directly into boiling water. Boil for 6 minutes. Flat eat it while it's still hot. Lately, he started noticing bloating, acid reflux, and sluggish digestion even though his meals were simple and clean. He chalked it up to aging. But when I asked, "How exactly do you boil your egg?" he told me his method, and I knew right away. The problem wasn't age. It was a small habit hiding in plain sight. So why does a cold egg need to breathe? When you take an egg at 40 degrees for about 4 degrees and shock it with 212 degrees boiling water, its proteins seize up, clump together, and become harder for your digestive enzymes to break down, especially in aging stomachs. Essential nutrients like vitamin B12D and choline, all abundant in eggs, can degrade from thermal shock, reducing their real nutritional value. And the sudden temperature change on the eggshell. It creates condensation moisture that can let bacteria sneak through the shell before the egg is fully cooked. So what's the fix? I gave Mr. Walter just one simple change. Let your egg sit at room temperature for at least 30 minutes before cooking. Or if you're in a hurry, soak it in a bowl of warm, not hot water for 5 minutes. 10 days later, he called me laughing joyfully. "Doc, my stomach feels so much lighter. It's just an egg. But what a big difference." Now let me ask you, are you doing the same thing every morning, tossing a cold egg into hot water just to save a few minutes? Maybe it's time to give your egg a moment to rest. Not just for better digestion, but as a small way to pause. And be kind to yourself. Adding eggs too early in the morning, when your body isn't ready yet. There's a study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism 2020 that caught my eye. It says blood cortisol levels peak between 6 and 8 a.m., and consuming cholesterol-rich foods like eggs during this window may stimulate the liver to increase endogenous cholesterol production, potentially affecting blood lipids and heart health in older adults. That made me think of Mr. Ronald, a retired firefighter from New Jersey and one of the most disciplined men I know. Every morning, like clockwork, he wakes up at 6:15, takes a short walk, and eats 2 sunny-side-up eggs with a slice of toast. Protein, yes. Muscle support, absolutely. But a few months ago, he began to feel bloated, sometimes tightness in the chest, and during his last visit, even mild chest pain. We ran some labs. His LDL cholesterol had shot up, and yet his diet hadn't changed much. The issue, it wasn't what he was eating. It was when he was eating it. Your body has a clock, don't ignore it. I want you to imagine this. In the early morning, your body is like a factory just opening its doors. The machines are starting up. Your digestion is still slow. Your liver is gearing up to produce energy. And your cortisol, your natural wake-up hormone, is peaking. Now, if you add eggs, a cholesterol-rich food, at that exact time, your liver can get the wrong signal. It thinks your body needs more cholesterol, so it makes even more instead of balancing itself out. Here's what that can lead to. Higher cholesterol levels, even with no change in diet. Digestive discomfort. Your gut simply isn't ready to process heavy proteins yet. Heartburn reflux, especially if you also drink coffee or eat refined carbs with your eggs. So what's the best time to eat eggs? Based on circadian rhythm and digestion, I often recommend eat eggs in the mid-morning around 9 to 11 a.m. if you want them for breakfast. Or better yet, have them in the afternoon between 2 and 4 p.m. When digestion is stronger, the liver is more stable and cortisol has dropped. Also, pair your eggs with fiber-rich foods, leafy greens, whole grain toast, or avocado. This doesn't just support digestion. It can also help block bad cholesterol from being absorbed. Let me ask you, have you ever had eggs early in the morning and felt heavy, gassy, or off balance? Maybe it wasn't the egg. Maybe it was the timing. And sometimes just shifting your breakfast by a couple hours can shift how your whole body feels. Frying eggs at high heat. When good turns into harmful. A story from Dr. Richards. 60 years old. There's a study published in Food Chemistry 2019 that I often mention to my patients. Egg proteins begin to denature significantly at 356 degrees 100 degrees, and when fried in oil above this temperature, they can produce harmful oxidants such as aldehydes and acrylamide, increasing the risk of chronic inflammation, digestive disorders, and cellular damage in older adults. I immediately think of Sweet Jane, 84 years old, living alone in sunny Florida. Every morning, without fail, she fried an egg hot pan, plenty of oil, and a couple of slices of crispy bacon on the side. She used to smile and say Dr. Eggs should sizzle. I like the edges brown and crispy. But over time, her body disagreed. She began to feel bloated, developed pain in her upper stomach, had trouble digesting food, and lost a bit of weight. We did an endoscopy. No H. pylori, no alcohol, no meds, no stress. But her stomach lining was inflamed. Her liver enzymes were slightly elevated. The culprit? Her morning egg. What happens inside that overheated frying pan? When cooking oil exceeds its smoke point, usually around 450 degrees, 205, 230 degrees, it begins producing free radicals and toxic aldehydes. These compounds irritate the stomach lining, trigger chronic inflammation, and may worsen symptoms for those with heart or digestive conditions. What's worse, choline, a nutrient in egg yolks, essential for brain and memory. Health breaks down quickly when exposed to high heat. But doc, if I can't fry what's left? I often tell my patients, you don't have to give up eggs, just change how you cook them. Here are a few gentler methods. Soft boil from cool water. 10 minutes on low heat keeps protein and choline intact. Steam your eggs. Soft and easy on digestion. Try a poached egg. Warm water. No oil, light and comforting. If you still love frying, use olive oil, low heat, and cover the pan so the egg cooks through without burning. Mr. George, 82, was a long-time fried egg lover, but he battled acid reflux, poor sleep, and couldn't eat anything past 7 p.m. I suggested he switched to boiled eggs with steamed broccoli and a slice of avocado. 3 weeks later, he messaged me, Doc, I'm sleeping like a baby. My stomach's quiet, and to be honest, I don't even miss that crispy egg edge anymore. So let me ask you, how are you cooking your eggs each morning? Are you nourishing your body, or unknowingly hurting it? Sometimes the smallest shift in your routine, like lowering the heat, can help your digestions, your heart, even your sleep. And at our age, every gentle choice matters. Is your morning egg blocking your medications? Without you knowing. There's a study published in the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology 2018 that caught my attention. It revealed something most seniors don't realize. Foods rich in calcium, iron, and vitamin K, such as eggs, can interfere with the absorption of antibiotics, blood thinners, and mineral supplements when taken too closely together. Let me tell you about Mrs. Dorothy, 76 years old, from Oregon. She was as diligent as they come, never missed a dose. Every morning she took her iron pill, her calcium supplement, and a multivitamin right after breakfast. And her breakfast, a soft fried egg on toast cooked just the way she liked it. But despite doing everything right for 3 months, her blood tests still showed mild anemia, low ferritin, poor iron absorption. She sighed during her checkup and said, Doctor, I'm doing everything you told me, but it feels like my body's not listening anymore. That's when I asked a simple question. When do you take your meds? She replied, right after breakfast. And suddenly, it all made sense. What happens when eggs and medications mix? Egg yolks are rich in vitamin K, which can reduce the effectiveness of blood thinners like warfarin. That can lead to clotting issues or unexpected bleeding. Egg whites contain phosphatin, a compound that binds with iron and calcium, making them harder to absorb. Some antibiotics, like tetracycline or ciprofloxacin, can see up to 50% reduced absorption if taken alongside eggs. Now, I'm not telling you to give up eggs, But if you're over 60 and on medications, especially for blood pressure, thyroid, iron, calcium, or infections, here's what I recommend. Give your pills some space. Wait 2 to 4 hours between eating eggs and taking your meds. Take your meds first if your doctor says it's safe to take on an empty stomach. Then have a light breakfast, without eggs or dairy. Enjoy your eggs later at lunch or mid-afternoon when they won't interfere. A small change that might save your whole treatment. I helped Mrs. Dorothy adjust her routine just by changing the order of her morning. 4 weeks later, she came back smiling. My blood work improved, and I feel like myself again. Then she chuckled. All it took was letting the pill go first and the egg follow later. So what about you? Are your eggs unintentionally blocking the very medications you rely on every day? Try shifting your schedule. Let your body absorb what it needs when it needs it. Your health may thank you in ways you didn't expect. I've eaten 3 eggs a day for 20 years. What this senior didn't see coming. A large-scale study published in JAMA Journal of the American Medical Association 2019 followed over 29,000 adults and found this. For every half egg added per day, around 3 extra eggs per week, there was a significant increase in the risk of heart disease and early death, especially in people with lipid metabolism disorders, or those carrying the APOE4 gene, which makes them sensitive to dietary cholesterol. This reminded me of one of my longtime patients, Mr. Henry, 74 years old, a retired accountant. Disciplined to the bone, no alcohol, no smoking, regular exercise. But he had one daily ritual he was proud of. I eat 3 eggs every morning for the past 20 years. He believed those eggs kept his muscles strong and his mind sharp. And to be fair, he felt great. Until his annual checkup told another story, the surprise inside a healthy habit. His lab results shocked both of us. LDL cholesterol, the bad kind. Nearly twice the healthy limit. Total cholesterol, above the recommended range. Carotid ultrasound showed early signs of plaque buildup. What happened? Well, eggs are nutritious. They're rich in protein B vitamins choline, but they're also high in cholesterol. One egg has roughly 186 mg of cholesterol. That's already close to the daily limit recommended for older adults with heart risk. Now here's the thing, for a healthy senior 1 egg a day is usually fine. But if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, lipid disorders, or the APOE4 gene, then eating 2-3 eggs every day for years could cause your liver to overproduce cholesterol, clog your arteries, and quietly raise your risk of stroke or heart attack. The solution, not elimination, but adjustment. I sat with Mr. Henry and said, "You don't have to stop eating eggs, but let's adjust and let your body catch its breath." We created a new plan, cut down to 5 eggs per week, boiled or poached. Always pair with fiber, greens, oats, whole grains. Monitor cholesterol every 3 months. After 6 months, his LDL dropped by nearly 30%. He still enjoys eggs, just no longer 3 a day. And most importantly, he feels lighter, clearer, and more in control of his body. So what about you? Are you stuck in a well-meaning habit thinking more is better? It's not that eggs are the enemy. It's that after 60 balance matters more than ever. Sometimes longevity isn't about giving things up. It's about listening better to your numbers, your meals, your body. Raw or soft-boiled eggs. Over 65. Here's why that old habit could be dangerous. Now, a 2021 study published in the Journal of Food Protection revealed adults over 65 are 5 times more likely to die from a salmonella infection compared to younger people. Raw or soft-boiled eggs remain one of the most common sources of this bacteria. Let me tell you about Mark, 82 years old. A former sailor, tough as nails, and for decades he swore by one ritual: every morning 1 raw egg cracked straight into a glass with a splash of rice wine. It keeps me strong, sharp, and full of life, he said with pride. But one morning, Mark didn't feel so sharp. By afternoon, he had a high fever, severe diarrhea, low blood pressure. He ended up in the ICU for 4 days. Diagnosis: Salmonella septicemia. It took a month of strong antibiotics and 2 more months of digestive issues before he felt somewhat normal again. Why raw eggs are riskier than you think. After 60, even if you've been doing it for years, the risks increase as your body ages. Raw eggs don't kill bacteria if salmonella is present on the shell or inside it stays alive. As we age, our immune system weakens, making it harder to fight infections. Raw egg whites contain avidin, which blocks the absorption of biotin vitamin B7, leading to nerve issues, fatigue, even depression. Plus, uncooked protein is harder to digest, especially for older adults with low stomach acid. The solution isn't to quit eggs, it's to cook them smarter. I never tell my patients to give up their favorite foods. But I do ask them this. Is your body the same as it was 30 years ago? We don't need to prove we're strong by doing risky things. We need to be smart and gentle with ourselves now. Try this instead. Hard-boil eggs for 9-12 minutes, start in cool water. Simmer gently. Poached eggs. Soft yolk. Firm white, no oil. Steam eggs. Delicate and nutrient-friendly. Always check expiration. Dates, avoid cracked or moldy shells. And wash your hands after handling raw eggs. Mark eventually made the switch. I still feel strong. He smiled. But now I eat boiled eggs and I don't worry anymore. So, what about you? Are you still holding on to a habit that served you well at 40 but might be hurting you at 70? Growing older doesn't mean getting weaker. It means caring for yourself more wisely and respecting the body that's carried you this far. Eating eggs without veggies or fiber. You're missing half the benefits. A comprehensive review by the Harvard School of Public Health in 2020 found including fiber in your meal can reduce cholesterol absorption by up to 20% while improving gut function and reducing constipation, especially in adults over 60. Let me tell you about Gloria. 69 years old, lovely woman, always smiling but clearly uncomfortable when she came to see me. Doctor, I've been constipated for weeks. I eat healthy every morning. I have eggs, no carbs, no fruit, no veggies. I thought I was doing the right thing, cutting sugar and keeping it clean, but my stomach just feels stuck. She thought she was following a healthy low-carb routine. But what she was really missing was fiber, the quiet hero of digestion. Why eggs need a friend on the plate. Eggs are rich in protein and fat, great for your muscles, hormones, and energy. But without fiber, your digestion slows down. Here's why. No fiber, slower digestion, bloating, constipation, even metabolic issues. Eggs are high in cholesterol, but soluble fiber from greens and whole grains binds cholesterol and helps flush it out through your gut. Leafy greens also bring antioxidants, folate, and vitamin C, which help your body absorb the nutrients from eggs better. A small side of veggies can change. Everything I suggested a simple change to Gloria. Add some steamed spinach, a few slices of avocado, or even a spoon of soft onions next to her morning egg. 2 weeks later, she called me relieved and cheerful. Doctor, I'm finally regular again, and I feel lighter. I sleep better too. All thanks to one handful of greens. After 30 years. These are my simple egg pairing tips. Boiled eggs. Pair with spinach, avocado, mushrooms, or cherry tomatoes. Lightly fried eggs. Serve with whole grain toast, sautéed kale, or cucumber slices. Poached eggs. Top with parsley, turmeric. Soft greens, no veggies. Oats or whole grain cereal work too excellent. Fiber source. One lonely egg might leave you with more cholesterol, poor digestion, and less vitamin absorption. So tomorrow morning, before you sit down for breakfast, take one extra moment and ask yourself, does this meal have a good friend beside it? Because after 60, a strong body doesn't just come from protein, it comes from balance. My dear friend, we've just walked through 8 simple things, just little ways of eating one humble egg. But if you've truly been listening, then maybe you've come to realize something deeper. After 60, good health doesn't come from drastic changes. It comes from small, mindful actions done consistently with care. An egg when eaten right, not too early, not too late, not too much, not alone, but accompanied by greens timing and a little patience. I've seen folks throw away the yolk afraid of cholesterol. Others fry their eggs on blazing heat just to save a minute. Some still eat raw eggs out of habit, something they picked up in their youth. And many simply never pause to ask, what could one egg possibly mean for my aging body? But now you know. Let each meal be a quiet act of self-care. Not for anyone else, but for the version of you you're still becoming. Because I believe this with all my heart. Growing older doesn't have to be a battle. It just needs a body steady enough to slow down, to go deeper, and to live on your own terms. If you've seen yourself in any of the habits we talked about today, leave a comment below. Not for judgment, but for connection. Your story might just help someone else see themselves more clearly too. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your spouse, a loved one, or anyone who's stepping into that season of life where food becomes wisdom. I'm Dr. Richards. I'm 60 years old, and I still believe one properly cooked egg can be a quiet gift of healing for your legs, your memory, and your heart. I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore the everyday foods that naturally rebuild leg muscles after 60. Until then, may your day be gentle and may your next meal be an act of love.